But anyway, I'm happy that you are here, and I'm very happy that the panelists are here. And first of all, this panel should be of, the topic is Chilean cinema of today. You're, of course, all welcome to ask questions or maybe comments from the Chilean filmmakers in the audience side. And I'm not Amos Borsche, that's our curator, but she can't be with us, but she prepared me some questions, and I managed also to watch the films from the short film directors because I read them, and so I hope I'm quite prepared. And I would like to introduce you to the panelists. On the left, on my left side, we have Alexandra Hyland. She's the director of Outside Lagoons. The film will be screened tonight at 8 p.m. here at Mona. And next to me is Roberto Doveris, the producer of Outside Lagoons. So he will be also later in the cinema for Q&A. On my right side is Christopher Murray, the director of Sorcery. The film was already screened Thursday here at Mona, but tonight there is a screening in Frankfurt. So, then we have Karin Cuyul, the directress of Notes from the Future. This film will be shown after our panel here in Short Film Brokens. And Felipe Huenchuñir, the difficult last name, the director of The Fallen, which is also going to be screened here. So, and I was prepared some questions for me. Maybe I squeezed them a little bit, because this first question was that you share with us the thoughts of your feelings you had when the protest started in 2019. We can start with that, but maybe I would like to add, if these circumstances influenced you as an artist, as a director, as a filmmaker, is it shown maybe in your work we show here, or maybe in your previous or your later work you're planning to do something about it? So we can combine this question a little bit. I don't know who wants to start. Maybe we start from this side.
When the protest came in October 2019, it obviously grabbed some issues that were coming from before. And before the 2019 protest, we also had 2008 student protests. So it's kind of in our history protest, and it was like a boiling point, obviously, when everything in October kind of I don't know the word, but happened. And so we shot the film in March 2019, and these teams were there, and it's funny because in the film they go like Chile should end, which was kind of what we were saying after, or like Chile is burning, it was kind of, and it obviously influenced the work of, I think, of everybody. It was a tough moment. It was very important. It was, but it was hard because it happened, because it was avoiding it. Everything was so hard, was terrible, and the people that were protesting, even though it looked kind of joyful and like glorious, it was because people couldn't bear anymore. And during that time, all things happened. We have 42 people that died on the official records in the hands of the state. Okay. 42 in the official records, because obviously there were more. And then we had tons of victims of I protests because the police were shooting at eye level. We had a filmmaker colleague that lost her eyesight, partially her eyesight, for being just on the streets protesting. I mean, it wasn't even in the protest, she was just around the places. So it obviously made, and there were a ton of collectives that for this protest, something that we had that was different from the other years, it was that we had access to technology, to cameras. Sure. And that was a very, very important part to do some repairing after, or like having at least evidence. And for us filmmakers, I thought it was kind of like our thing to just go to the streets and record. So at least we had like images.
Well, she explained very well what happened. For me, it was such a good feeling to know that what I was feeling and thinking at my circle of friends was shared by a big amount of people. It was really like these topics and this, bad feeling about Chilean society that we have felt for 15 years or 20 years, like not everything has to be private, people need health, education, securities, so those things were like pretty basic, and I think it was very important for to raise the voice and feel that we agree on that. Yeah, that was good.
Maybe you want to share, yes, but I think it should be on.
Well, to add something kind of new, I think yes, it's like it was a really inspiring moment, but then also tragic moment. In a way, I think post Pinochet there was a long kind of how you say, like third way governments, like kind of Tony Blair governments, and that produced a lot of inequality in the country with the neoliberal, in a way, economical politics, and I think a lot of issues about the representation in the country, about, as I said, the public health system, educational health, the educational public system, were there in a way like boiling and appearing, and it makes sense. The problem is, of course, that that thing, in a way, I think after this kind of explosions, like May '68 in France, wherever, always there's a kind of backlash, that happens, and that's what is happening right now. In a way, it was a really kind of romantic moment, but the most challenging thing about these political moments is how you conduct this thing in an institutional way to make the change happen really in the structure.
But that will maybe happen when the election is in December, because you have to change.
No, but it won't happen. That's whole thing.
I saw that there will be elections in December to change the constitution.
Yeah, but that's why I was making the note, because I think it's good, because we are in a moment of the disappointing moment. Because what happened is that after that moment, we choose people to write a new constitution. So that was a great thing, because usually after these things nothing happens. So it was a moment that you can conduct this thing to an institutional way, and we both for people. But the problem was, from my point of view, is that we had a convention that wrote a constitution, but of course was really kind of from our side in a way, really to our side. And then came the pandemic and the economical crisis, and the temperature of everything changed. People changed. It was kind of exhausted of this, and that constitution was rejected. And now we set new constitutional guys to doing the thing, and they're from the right wing.
Okay.
So the thing we're going to vote now is a right wing constitution. So we're worse.
Since that one was before.
Yeah, I'm so worse than before the thing interesting, because this is the history of political movements. I don't know, like, or from the domains.
Maybe Karin also.
Voy a hablar to you.
It's only me who doesn't understand you, and Marta, and maybe Stefan.
Pero, bueno, creo que ese momento del 2019 fue como de demasiadas emociones contenidas, y como que esa explosión de emociones que después se apaciguó un poco con la llegada de la pandemia, y más o menos que se neutralizó también con la idea de votar esta nueva constitución, fue para mí un primer momento.
Thank you.
So yeah, there was a like important moment in terms of the emotions that were there, like all that the things that were happening emotionally, but of course there was a moment that came down because of the pandemic and because of this constitutional process that changed the temperature in a way.
Sí. Pero luego, cuando fracasó ese proceso, que fue el año pasado, ahí creo que agarramos como otro momento emotivo en el país y como las personas que, bueno, la mayoría de nosotros.
Sí. And after like this failure of the constitutional process, there was another emotional moment in a way for people as us.
Y entonces como lo que a mí me pasó personalmente es como para no quedar muy triste, lo empecé a trabajar y a pensar en cuántas veces estos seres han repetido en nuestra historia.
So not to feel sad about what happened or this disappointing moment, I began to think and work and think about all the times that it has happened in our history.
Y bueno, ese es el siguiente trabajo que estoy haciendo, que en este momento estoy editando esa película, donde estoy agarrando más que nada los archivos de los últimos 50 años de nuestra historia.
So that's why now I'm working in a project, that's my next project, that I'm working with the archives about the last 50 years in the country.
Y cómo pero tiene, o sea, está teniendo una manera efectiva, como una perspectiva efectiva sobre esas imágenes en nuestro país, para entender un poco estos ciclos emocionales y cómo convivimos con la esperanza y el fracaso.
It's easier if you keep this.
Okay.
Sorry, I was.
And and in a way, it's a film that works with these images from a emotional and affective perspective, trying to understand the psyches about how we deal with failure and hope.
Gracias.
Well, I think I remember that it's like beautiful and exciting for my life, but now like everybody says it's like kind of sad thing because we still have the Pinochet constitution and nobody knows what's happening now. It's like, I think. Oh no, I really want to see all this process like there's a cycle and maybe in some years we can make a difference, but that's it. I'm really frustrated in that way. Now it's like some people don't want to talk about it. It's like I work in the Constitution, not like early, and that's. I have a very romantic way to see that Constitution, but there is manipulating maybe, but mediatic things that people don't want to lose their houses or something like that. So they feel like by fake news, I think, and it's so confusing. I don't some part of my family take that opinion too. So
I think they don't want to go. They don't want to vote.
Yes, or they don't want that constitution.
Can I ask?
Yeah, even if it's a right-wing institution. Interesting.
Yeah. I would say that you also ask how this will influence Chilean cinema or Chilean filmmakers. I don't know yet, but I would say that the last 20 years of Chilean cinema maybe played a role, maybe a small one, but there are many films that showed how upset, angry and sad was living people regarding health and education, living situations. So I think it played a role, and even if now we are disappointed or so, those are facts, you know. So film's really important, yet to talk about how life so unequal in Chile.
So we can make it now a little bit to the film topic as well. I'm not sure we come to those things, but I will maybe start. I was asking myself what Chilean filmmakers I did know before we decided to make a focus on Chile. And of course, Guzman is famous, his films are cinema. I was thinking which films get released in Germany. Of course, Pablo Larraín. Yeah. Everybody knows here, but I think his last films are not Chilean anymore, but he will get his films into the cinemas with distribution and Sebastian. We are, of course, there. And then we don't know much more. I mean, I didn't, I have to say, the other people know more. But, of course, when we decided last summer, I was to all the festivals I was going. I was, of course, trying to watch all the Chilean films which were shown. And I know that your both films, I mean, you had a premiere at Sundance, and you were in Rotterdam, where I actually saw them. And Sundance was not in our traveling budget, so I had to ring for the States to send us. But I saw it in a big screen. And so that's one of the questions from Amos. How is the visibility? I maybe start with the feature films at festivals, and then we can also say a little bit about short films, because they have found the same problem. I was looking, as I'm also the board member of the German Short Film Association, I'm also going to a lot of short film festivals, and there were nearly no Chilean short film last year. So it was really hard to find them in some end. So that would be maybe my question first. How do you think, how high are the chances for new and upcoming filmmakers that they were invited somewhere? Is it easier if you have a co-production or upstage right behind you?
It's very hard. It's very hard. I think it happens that most of our films come from a very independent, and when you are an independent filmmaker, it's a small team of people. So maybe if we had, there's so many things to do, and obviously distribution at doing like the rest things could help, but it's like you cannot do everything, you know, it's hard. Besides, it happens well with the language. People don't like subtitles, and also in Spanish. But in Chile, we have a very slang heavy type of Spanish. So I think that's hard, and I think people have a hard time watching independent movies in general. So it's like a lot of barriers. Most people don't even know where Chile is, really, like, sometimes just talk and label and Chile, they be like, Argentina, no, next to it. So obviously that all of that falls into cinema. And besides that, even in the festivals and other places and like cinema circuits, they have like a certain expectation of Latin American cinema, and when you don't meet their expectations, they kind of like put you out. That's why I get it.
Regarding disability, I think it's, of course, very important for Chilean cinema. Actually, it's a cinema that has built mostly because there's an international kind of approach, interest on Chilean cinema. If it would be only for Chilean market, Chilean cinema wouldn't exist at all.
Okay.
So visibility is important. I think we have, of course, all these difficulties to get abroad. But also, if we compare our situation with other Latin American countries, I think we are pretty okay. We have a cohesive force in the industry. We have public support.
Yeah.
not as much as we want and not as much as we need, but there is support, which is better than doesn't have it. And I think also that independent cinema is kind of our brand, because we don't have that much money to make the films, you know. So basically, we have used that lack of funds to be creative and like an opportunity to make new kind of films.
Yeah.
And regarding those three super huge stars like Karin, I think it's great that they are, you know, going abroad, because somehow they build a path, and we then go behind them everywhere. You know, it's like a call out that there's a country there that's this happening, and also we have other filmmakers and other films, and people abroad can be interested in as you.
Yeah, I'm not talking about our festival, but I was thinking more about having a start on a bigger one. How difficult that is, and maybe I can add, because then when Christopher is answering, maybe I can also ask: is other films are getting released in Chile? The features now? Maybe also.
I think usually we have like an 80% films produced that are released at some point in the Chilean market. It's I don't know if it's good or bad. They usually don't go that well. But also we have support for distributors and for a network of independent cinemas. So they are also receiving support to program Chilean films and be able to develop this.
Yeah, and said also, it's interesting because there was a moment, I think in the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s, that a lot of the international careers of the filmmaker were made by their own. So they used to apply to the festivals, they pick the money to travel, and there was something about the building a platform that it's made with public funds to create, in a way, the brand of Cinema Chile, what it's mean.
Yeah.
And I think it was interesting because that was a moment in that there were kind of politics to push cinema from Chile in different international contexts. And I think that have worked, you know. I think because you can feel the presence in each festival. There are always a Chilean thing. There are people that goes there as part of the commission, to in a way to talk about what is happening in the country. And I think that's when you travel to the festivals, everyone in a way has a feeling that something is happening there, and you can see, apart from those names, other people around with a lot of films doing documentary, experimental fiction. So I think there's a lot. Of course, there's a problem apart from the international context of festivals or whatever. It's the screens and the commercial exhibitions of film. Of course, it's a huge problem. At least in Chile, there's of course independent screens, but where people go, usually it's more about when you go to the commercial center, that's a big thing, and you have to be there with the script productions from. There's not a limit or like to save certain screens for Chilean cinema, like in a really professional way. So of course that's it's more about the economical system. And so then, of course, and to release, usually what you said about co-production, it said that the co-production helps sometimes to sell the film and to premiere it in the countries of the parts, you know, from Korea or France. Usually like Mexico, that are usually the countries that are Spain, that are part of the production.
Yeah, I mean, for Karin's answer, I can add something. Like when you said also that 18% maybe from the features in cinema, the German fund system is very difficult. Like we have regional funds, we have state funds, and also if you get funding money, the film has to have a release in German cinema. So it is and you can have TV in as a partner, but it has to have a German release, the feature films. Otherwise, the funds will get the money back. So but it doesn't help to grow the numbers. I mean, so it's a little bit, but at least there's something that the visibility in the country should be given.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot have TV in, especially first and second filmmakers, because otherwise you cannot finance your movie. I mean, that's kind of a result. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. And as you mentioned, Cinema Chile, I said before, the short films, I can really see them in a lot of festivals, but I have to admit, of course, in Cannes, Cinema Chile also had a slot with Chilean short films to promote their So at least they try to be also in the markets, also with the shorts. But maybe, Karin, you want to add something? Like if you...
Yo estoy, o sea, es mi primer corto, porque había hecho primero largos.
okay.
Jail films.
Entonces estoy recién como viendo por dónde va. Es como, digo, fue una experiencia nueva, porque además tampoco como productora me había tocado producir un corto.
So Karin had worked before in a feature film that was premiered, and now it's the first time making a short film. So in a way, it's discovering how to distribute it and also how to circle the short.
I think the distribution of Chilean films is like works, but the problem I think is like in Chile, people don't see Chilean films. It's like very difficult to como llamar a la gente así. So there's not too much cut out. You know, like promotion.
Okay.
To get people to see it.
And yes, but that's they're so.
So it's the popcorn cinema.
Yes.
So people go, well, what you said about commercial screens.
In the independent cinemas, and it's like more films of Chile, but in the commercial, it's like 1 week of. And it's hard, I think, that maybe it's worth like como que siempre pasa que como que los directores hacen su primera película y después les cuesta mucho hacer otra película más por el mismo problema.
See, the second film sometimes it's harder.
Usually to make the second film is more difficult because of this reason than making the first one. You know.
I think maybe just to give it a little bit back, in Germany we have this system. There's the one TV channel, das kleine Fernsehspiel. It's called the Little Television Game. It's not right and play, and they fund first and second features.
Nice.
So here we have more the saying. Sometimes third. It's more hard to make your third film because they're out, and they also have, I think, approximately, because Corona came, it takes much longer normally to see the films on screen. Now they had like 2 years of no shooting nearly, and so they have to do even more projects if the money is allowing it. And I think it's about 60 to 20 projects which can be realized each year. I mean, the films are maybe ready 1 or 2 years later, but at least they do co-productions as well.
Yeah. Good.
Maybe only a fourth of the amount of numbers, but at least they're interested in all different continents. So, and I think later in the cinema we have one of the Fernsehspiele, because both of the 2 German features worked with them together. Cool. So the question at dinner is also coming and said something about it. But this goes for 60 years in German television. They have a super slot one day behind midnight. But as we now have a mediatheque, we can watch them all the time. It's not so bad anymore. So that's about our side. And maybe we can also come back to funding a little bit, because you mentioned there's a kind of little funding in Chile. Is TV also in the films, or has to be? But in Germany, it's really, I think, a kind of need if you want to make your first feature. If it's a fiction or documentary, that you have TV on board. And even the film schools don't have so much money for your diploma film. So when you get started, you just have to apply, and there's only one fund in Chile. Or
Actually, I think that comes back to the first topic we talked about, the demonstrations, because there's no public television in Chile. There's no public anything.
It's all private.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
All TV channels are private. Now it's a little bit different because there are very, very small new channels with the digitalization of television, but they are not paying for films. I mean,
Yeah, that's also another question. Even they don't pay so much per minute here.
Yeah.
So, especially for the shorts.
they don't get involved in funding or they get involved with projects in an early stage. Sometimes you go to a television, for example, in my case with Impatient, we were screening television, but it was more of a package that the distributor got, and they screened it at 11 p.m.
Yeah, something like.
But no, it's not part of the funding. We have only one fund for production, maybe two if we can send it in. But only one, and it's one call idea, and it's like Hunger Games.
Is it?
Now,
Okay. And how big is the money in the fund?
very small, maybe 10 films, feature films, or 15 if you come rather feature films, original films, documentary films,
And the shorts also?
co-production films. Shorts, it's like 2 or 3 or 4.
5.
5. Yeah. Because you also have general short films and regional short films. So it's really small. So if you do the math, you realize that the 40 or 50 films that are made in Chile each year, probably only 20 or 30% of them are made with the Chilean funds, public funds, and the rest of them are made in the contexts of universities, independent companies, grants that allow artists to create something very small, and that kind of like small supports outside the main audiovisual fund.
Do you want to add something? Maybe Christina wants to add something. Because real film seems to be a kind of a bigger production. So when I hear that there's not much money in the fund, how could you manage that?
No, but I think it's the structure of a co-production fund. It is basically is getting the money from Chile to apply to the fund. Usually, as I said, it's a little projects that are selected, but then you have to get funds. In this case, we get it from Germany and Mexico with the co-productions, and then you put those three together, and that's it in a way. There's not much possibility, at least in terms of we want to make this in terms of a co-production. That's the logic, and we have a lot of production deals with different countries. But the thing is that everything's getting expensive to make a film, and the funds usually, even here in Europe, for the co-productions are limited or going down. There was a more golden moment, like 10 years ago, that I think was easier. We got things were a little bit cheaper. And the other thing that usually it's happening sometimes is the streamers that are kind of trying to play a game there, buying films before, putting money before with the license or whatever, try to make something. But of course, if you see the numbers, as Roberto said, it's kind of really competitive to get the money from Polygon. And in Chile, there's no that supporting private investments. We're not like a politic of trying to promote, companies to reduce taxes.
Like in Brazil, where they
in Brazil, Colombia, or even Mexico. We don't have a kind of a political strategy from that thing that take
It's not usual, but we do.
Because but private funds?
No, like a tax.
Possible.
Tax
That's really
Yeah, but if you like the Jack Stack, it's something different. I think when we had Brazil as a country in focus, I was always really shocked that these oil companies giving money for culture.
Sí, sí.
It's good. I mean, but
Yeah, at least your feelings about against the oil.
yeah, I think they don't look where the money is. So, okay, and as we heard, only 5 short films a year. Where you get funding, or you have to make it from university, I guess so. And usually, I guess you start with a short, and that leads me to the question: how struggling is it for a young and upcoming filmmaker to begin?
Yes, I made my short film in school, so I don't know how it works, like distribution or big production movies, but my way to see it is like I can do puedo ir como avanzar como independientemente y tratar de hacer películas como dentro de lo que yo pueda resolver también sin tener combinación software y quizás en algún momento puedo tener algún apoyo, pero quizás lo mejor es como mantenerse, como no pensar en que es la única opción como puede hacer.
Like thinking about the keeping development in terms of producing what you have, what your possibilities, and try to work from there, and maybe in one moment to get the support, but it's like it's not the only way to do it. Always there's a way to do it with the filter got there, only and push from that side.
And maybe I ask, if you, I don't know if it's too Indian, but to direct, if you want to be like an established filmmaker in Chile, I want to also live from your work. Is that possible at all? Or you have to have on to do side jobs, like maybe as I know also friends of mine in Germany, they work as scriptwriters and actors to make money that they can make their own, so I mean, for living, yeah? And I don't know, so I would like to hear.
Okay.
They give you señales.
You know?
Well, yo he logrado financiar las tres películas que estoy haciendo. O sea, la primera con el fondo chileno y coproducción con Brasil. El corto también lo logré financiar con el fondo chileno, el que vamos a ver más tarde. Y esta tercera película también está financiada con el fondo y con coproducción con Colombia. Si no, no podría ser.
Okay, can you have the 3 films they're producing, like she got the funding from different countries things. The first one with Brazil, with Brazil,
El corte con fondo chileno.
the short with the Chilean funds, and the third
En Colombia.
with the third one with Colombia, and
El fondo chileno.
the Chilean fund, of course. Claro, da como una vida sistema para vivir.
Es que claro, mira, eso es lo que he logrado. Poder vivir de las películas que yo estoy haciendo, y aparte tengo trabajo también relacionado al cine, que es un trabajo fijo. El trabajo de la artesanal.
So she got work and live also because of these fundings.
For the period she made the movies.
Yeah, and also has a kind of a fixed work or a stable work in the distribution, independent distribution that exists in Chile, the recession.
And Felipe does?
Yo creo que no imagino viviendo solo haciendo cine. Obviamente hay que trabajar en otras cosas, probablemente puede ser cercano a la industria en algún modo, pero siempre hay que bancarse trabajos malos o malas pagas, y en relación a eso quizás de manera no simultánea intentar lograr hacer los proyectos que uno quiere hacer.
So it's like it doesn't like imagine the possibility of work as like a legal only of making films. So also there's side jobs or jobs that have to be sometimes not well paid, about I don't know, maybe like a camera or like working in the industry. I'm trying to keep connected, of course. So in a moment like to do it, I would say also to add, like usually I would say that there's kind of two, well maybe, well I would say two, like of course you keep producing films that are more or produce content, publicity, advertising, like other content for TV or whatever that can produce more commercial elements and different. And a lot of filmmakers, that's my case also, that we work in academia, in university, we teach, being part of the Canadian dance. And also that's maybe because I would say it's an important thing also, because there are a lot of film schools from different types, and I think a lot of filmmakers that appear come from these schools that were made basically in the 2000s, but before there was not too much. And I think there's an element there that is interesting, and a lot of colleagues also work of teaching, and I think it's beautiful because they keep connected also with the generations, and there's something apart from, I don't know, working for, of course, also in commercials or whatever that could be, and other jobs more in the industry. There's two ways, but always there's a side job. I don't know anyone that completely from that.
Y siempre más tu trabajo, siempre.
And always is more than work.
Yes. And maybe you can also go back to Alexandra.
I agree. I mean, it's really difficult to live only one single profession. Like I'm a scriptwriter, I only write, or I'm a producer, I only produce. So I would say that it's like Christopher said. I work also at a university, and my company also lives between films and other kind of content. So I think that's how I can produce work for my crew. Like my editors and my directors are still working not only in films but also producing content.
Yeah. So I don't have any more than one job. Feels well then in your free time. But yeah, I want, and they were saying, I think we are lucky to be able to have jobs that are kind of related to what we do. But I do think sometimes I would have liked to, study something else. So I just found another set of skills and maybe films in your free time. But yes, it's hard.
I mean, maybe just to add, when in Germany we have I think 5 bigger film schools and academies. We have regional small ones, mainly art academies, where you can also do communication design, and there you can do film. So it's a bit of a mixture, but we have I would say 5 bigger ones. And there maybe you can also study production and that stuff. And I know from a lot of people we had many as guests with their short films, and then they are now making the first feature films as producers or as companies. Of course, they always have to do work for the industry, otherwise their company would not survive.
Yeah.
And you can give also jobs to other people when you do commercial, or if you work for a series or whatever. So, of course, I didn't want to have this image that you can live as an artist. I mean, if you're a painter, you have to be lucky that somebody buys your work. Vice versa, and you have to produce something, otherwise there will be nothing you can sell.
And see films from a company. We see our films as something like environmental issue, like renovating, circulating money. We don't do films to earn money. So everything that was earned by the previous film goes to the next one. So it's something different what you expect from a company. Of course, we have these inside jobs in the company to produce content for other kind of industries. or whatever. But in terms of films, we think that we have to circulate the money in that way.
That's good. And also in Germany we have like two different kinds of funding. It's for the short films, for example, if they are successful in any kind what it should mean, but if they are, selected in international festivals, festivals, if they are invited to competitions or even if they won awards, in the list you always try to figure every year which are the points that stage film should be or should win, and you collect points in Germany. And also, if you have a special kind of points, at the end of the year, they will see how much money is in the pot. And this money goes for your next project. So it's different than you can apply for funds for your project. But also the success of your movie will also help you for the next film project.
I like that idea. Yeah. It's good.
I think so too. But also, if there are any remarks or questions from the audience, please feel free. All the other Chilean filmmakers in here agree? What was it? You don't have to, but I was just, you don't have to. I was
so happy to be able to combine my income always. It is the only possible way to split things. To be solo. That's fine.
Are you more rich? No. But
Yeah.
so there's also there was a question I once had. Now we talked a little bit about the situation, how it is at the moment, but I think you all don't seem to be so unhappy that you can make films in the country. It could be better, as you said before, but at least there is some kind of system, and of course we hope that it will not change. Depends on the government always, as we know here too. So things are changing after elections, unfortunately, or maybe to the good or to the bad. But what do you think is the way of the Chilean cinema? Is it going to grow, getting a bit bigger, and also maybe, as you mentioned before, like 20 years ago, it was kind of rise, that it was more visible, it was more pushed. Will it be growing again? Are there projects arising? Because I know there's a new head of the Chilean cinema since last year. Maybe there are new ideas to make the films international a little more seen. We can start there and then
I will say that if you see the numbers, we are in the universities, we are increasing the number of students every year. So probably we will have more visions and more ideas, hopefully more projects in the long term. Yeah, that's how I feel. Like it's a growing industry. We need that the government understand that, and make and invest more money in cultural development.
I don't know. So it's not very. I mean, it's growing. It's definitely growing. It's very exciting. We have a lot of new voices. There's a lot of more students. There's a lot more people doing films, which is something we want. Yes.
David, Chris, then what's about the kind of new voices and creative voices? I think I would think about the Chilean Siemens that you can't classify it as a kind of one thing. And I think that's good because there are a lot of nowadays filmmakers that want more works in fiction, hybrid, experimental, essay films, autobiographical. So there's a huge kind of diverse works. My concern, of course, is about the funding because it's impressive that it's more and more expensive to make a film because of the inflation, because of the economic crisis. It's because that's how the economy works, and you don't see a difference in terms of the funding, and that's a problem. And you can feel that. I have talked with people Latin America and other countries, and I think there's a problem because that's the only kind of resource, because we don't want, for example, if you can diverse the funds, you can have funds, for example, I don't know, you get it through the public TV in case you have it, or then the regional fund, and you combine that with another regional, and you can play. But this is one thing that you get it or not, so it's really like one possibility to get the fund. So I think there are a lot of voices, but I think we have a kind of I don't know, in terms of the funding, and the number of films is decreasing a little bit in terms of shooting.
But if the fund doesn't increase,
you can feel that because of the pandemic and made a lot of things, but you can feel that people from the industry are shooting less, at least in terms of jobs or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my feeling.
Producers have this the idea that probably in the next 5 years, Chilean films will be shot in Argentina or Peru, probably.
The Chilean cinema have been shot in Argentina. You go to Mendoza, that is close to.
Yeah.
It's Chile. I don't know what's going to happen now.
Way much cheaper, like half of it.
See, I mean, a lot of German movies are shot in Czechoslovakia or in Hungary. Years ago already, because it's the work. It's to pay the money. It's the people. It's half. I mean, which is not fair. To do that, but it's if you want to finance a film.
See, for our film, where it was cheaper for us to rent the camera. It was cheaper for us to rent the camera in Argentina and have it flow to Chile with somebody, with somebody offering, and that was cheaper than renting it in Chile. It was crazy.
Okay. Ray, you want to add something about the future and now outline?
Sorry if I'm a little
Okay. So we have to see and follow this topic a little bit, like you think maybe in a couple of years it could be better or it could be worse if they're not following. I mean, I understand what you mean. It's not only for the funding system. I mean, our city had a fun last 2 months here because they have to make the final budget for the 2024. And they said they will cut everything 20%.
Wow.
And they had protests here. I mean, today we only had the truck drivers, but since months, all the cultural institutions, of course, also we, were on the street and making noises. Like also the social parts, that was really worse. They should close down. I mean, not like you have in Chile. We have at least a stable system for taking care of children that should be all cut down, and so everybody was on the street protesting. And now they stopped it. But the same thing is we get the same money like this year, which with the inflation means you have a cut of 10%.
So I thought that the transport demanding more films. That's the
mouths like tax on a high order.
They wanted more Chilean films.
Yeah, they wanted. We should have invited them. Then they go to this. So we know this struggle in a way too, but maybe on another level. But when the fund is not following like the inflation, it's the problem because you have incomes of at least. I mean, here in Germany, I've been saying it's about even if they don't, if they give us the same money like our festival, maybe for example next year, it's a cut of 10% because I know everything is getting higher. But it's not only us, it's everybody. So, but at least they think they didn't cut anything, but that's not true. I think they know it, but they have not much more money in the city pot. So we have to survive somehow. So next year, no more country focus. No, I don't think we stop it anyhow, but it has nothing to do with that. We now make such a topic.
Well, we can give you the money back.
We are not good, so no, I was just saying, but it's really true. We stop country focus, but it's of course, no, the fund said should we do this? There's a special fund that they just mentioned. You cannot go to all the 188 countries. Of course we can't because we are dead, because in some decades we will not manage to show every country. But they want us more to work with content.
Yeah.
So they will, that's a country which is really cool, and they don't involve, but next year we will have a super content. We go to the Maghreb countries like Morocco, Tunisia, Jordan, and see what is happening for refugees when they have to cross. So we can make it even more political, and we can have the kind of bring countries together.
The codes.
Yeah. But anyhow, as we had this question now, where is the Chilean film moving towards, and you didn't want to comment, can I maybe ask, and starting with Felipe, what is your next project, or what is the next film you plan?
So, yes, I have a project that I work. It's about sell small bits in Santiago, like piratería, and how it's still like como quienes todavía siguen comprando películas o sea, como en ferias más que nada, y cómo funciona, o en algún momento se encarcelaron personas por eso, y de eso va la película, la estoy viviendo. También tiene que ver un poco con la informática de la descarga y la ilegalidad de esos términos, pero espero también como llevar a la realidad ciertas como formas en las que la gente consume películas.
Yes, thank you.
Which it's a non-fiction film. Okay, it's a non-fiction film about the like art selling of films.
Okay.
You know, trying to understand how this thing still works, who are the people that are buying the films, and also in terms of the informatic, things about the scanner, like the downloading films. So it's about piracy. It's just piracy, and it's a hybrid or a non-fiction because good film. There it is. And which one looking into?
Is this still a big market? But I remember now we have only links. But when we still had DVDs,
yes.
If you went to Eastern European countries, on each market, you could see the films to buy for maybe €2, which are on here. I mean, they would go in jail if you do that, yeah?
Plastic. They're still selling, but in a little... Son los que compran son como personas más adultas.
Old people go to still go in there to buy DVDs or whatever.
La película también intenta como armar un imaginario en relación a cómo esas personas se preguntan por ciertas películas, ciertos actores, y cómo eso se mezcla un poco con sus vidas y la forma en la que siguen consumiendo el cine a través de los de...
Also the film is about how this adult or old people, like in Chile, in a way, elaborate an imaginary about the film they have, while they look in the DVD, why they look that, or what is the film scenery in their minds.
Y en relación a la producción, es más que nada avanzar mientras trabajo en otra cosa y de manera independiente filmar y quizás obviamente intentar cuestionar las fotos, pero como intentar avanzar de todas maneras sin como limitarme solamente eso.
Okay, so then the idea or the strategy is like to keep going. Meanwhile, he's working on other things and want to either in the side works and try to push the project in an independent way. In a moment, apply to the funds, but if they don't get it, then to do it anyway.
Okay.
Right.
And Karin, what is your next feature again?
Ajá. Se llama La vida que vendrá. Y es un documental que, bueno, voy a ver estas imágenes de Chile de los últimos 50 años, pero también desde... A mí me gusta mucho trabajar con el archivo doméstico y ahora estoy trabajando más con el archivo oficial y cómo encontrar esos espacios íntimos en el archivo oficial.
So it's a film that is called like La vida que vendrá, like the life that it's coming, or that is coming, and it's different from the other projects that she made that works more like with intimate archives. This is about working with the public or more institutional archive from Chile the last 50 years, but trying to pick up like the intimate, the aspects of this official content.
Y cómo nos relacionamos nosotros con esas imágenes, y lo que contienen esas imágenes, o dónde están contenidas la felicidad y el fracaso en todos esos procesos, pero muy analizados desde sus imágenes.
Yeah, and how do we relate with these images in terms of failure, success, or hope, and
Felicidad y fracaso.
how in a way how we relate more effectively with this archive in terms of this idea of success and failure.
Y en el fondo hay una invitación para pensar colectivamente con esas imágenes que van a venir para nosotros.
So in a way, it's a way to think collectively about the future, the things that are coming for us.
And you, Chris? You have a you have a next project already in?
Yeah, I'm researching and yeah, I started writing and applied to the font now, but only for script.
For script.
I like to think a lot about research, and it's about Nazis in Chile. It's not a comedy. It's like it's yeah, but basically it's during the Second World War, specifically in the south of Chile, there was kind of Nazi espionage. So it's a kind of writing about spies, you know, from Germany, Chile, and also there was a prosecution like of the police. The police in Chile tried to detect these Germans there making espionage. You know, Chile has it's really interesting because the first Nazi party, German Nazi party, Latin America, was founded in Chile, you know, in 1933.
Yeah, but because, as we can see in your film, we have German settlers in the centuries before.
So they used that to build, and they started in a way to collect information. So it's researching about that, and Chile has an interesting story with Nazi thinking also during the 20th century. So, and I think it's a moment of thinking about these things because they're coming back in a way. Unfortunately, like it's coming back. The speech, the approach is there. It's something really kind of old, but when you start reading and hearing, in a way, it resembles what is happening right now. It's totally.
And not only Chile.
No, I work much in Europe.
Netherlands, I mean, this is a disaster last week.
Yeah.
That this right-wing idiot. Or the post-war, I mean, we really shocked like a literal country. You know, we would normally. But you never know.
They are raising here too.
Yep.
Rising.
Yeah, at the moment.
So, alternative for Germany, it's
I bet it is. And I made a big mistake. We had something 20 years ago. This was they called Republicans in Germany.
That was cool.
No, the Republikaner. It's like the Republican Party in the US. Was it 20, 25 years ago? They raised up, but they only had one period when they were elected and they were gone. So I thought, unfortunately, too naive. The same thing will happen with this alternative for Germany. Give them their little high rise, and then they gone, but they're still there. And so it's a bit frightening. but education, education, education. Otherwise, you will not get rid of these people rising in your country, I guess. And man, of course, the people are not running behind the guys. And yeah, we have the same kind of problem. But it's interesting. I went to Edward Z as a German. I was really shocked when I met your new head. Not shocked, but in Karin from Cinema Chile. And she has a very complicated first name for me too. Ximena. Okay. And she spoke German to me. Like her grandmother was German. As a word, I was like, oh.
Chilean?
Yeah.
Which Chilean?
The new head of Cinema Chile.
Yeah.
And she spoke directly German to me, and then of course, Rotary, the grandmother age. So I was already thinking if she's maybe one of these young Chilean to Chile was not only made. So I was sort of
Says cheese?
See?
It's not a doubt that, yeah, of course.
here, but it could also be from the two generations before or three who settled there.
Yeah.
So no. So it's both bad in a way.
But like German schools in Chile,
They are so
all over.
typical. Yeah.
It's really impressive. Chile, in terms of the relation with German culture in Chile, it's huge.
Maybe I asked something before I asked about your plans, because I know that you don't make this topic that the Nazis, of course, they not only went to Chile, they also went to Argentina. They all follow that when we were at school at young, and also the settler stories we know here even a little bit, but and then we heard about this horrible thing, which was also in the collaboration with Pinochet. This one guy who made this the colony.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of German films made about. We have films about it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really
Never read it,
super short.
Okay. And now maybe we also continue to hear a little bit about your next project. Like as a director, like Roberto was last year here as a director with a feature.
Yeah, we postponed the shooting of my next film. It was going to be this year, but it's going to be next year. And it's about football players' wives.
Oh,
And werewolves.
Yeah, werewolves.
Yeah, werewolves.
okay.
And which she was, actually.
See.
And we want Ibet Media to develop a project of Constanza Figari. It's called A Woman Wants to Die. And it's about wanting to die and being out to it. And I'm waiting for the script of the next project of Alexandra.
And how much overtime? No,
I like trying to write my no, I want to writing things. I wrote a short film, but just because it came out. And I'm working also on a documentary with Alicia, which is coming later, and she's the co-protagonist of the film. And
which is Alicia?
the here one.
That one.
The thing about Alicia is that she was kind of a child actor in Chile, and she has like a weird funny life, and she wants to portray it, so I'm working with her.
Okay, I read that. Yes. So we have a chance again. If there are any comments and questions, they are not. So then I would say thank you very much sharing your thoughts with us and also your concerns. Not only just looking forward. And so I can invite everybody to watch the films of each other. I saw now all of the films. And I finally saw you tomorrow, this morning. Very interesting. Thank you for sharing that also with us. Okay, that's thank you.
Thank you.